Hi everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How you guys doing? Happy Wednesday to you all. Um, Hopefully you guys are doing well. You're enjoying this weather. Everything is good, you know. Um, Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. I was really tired yesterday, guys, because I've been jumping, skipping, hopping, um, and I needed a break. I just needed to rest, and I forced myself to rest because I had this sinus headache and I wasn't feeling well, and it was just a bit too much. So thank you. I posted on my community page. So thank you for being patient with me and just understanding, because we all need to self-care, and sometimes I overdo it, so I need to throw myself in a midst of that too, because I'm always talking about that, right? And I do take breaks, but I really just needed a timeout yesterday, so thank you for being understanding. And I'm back today feeling a lot better. Also, guys, for those, some of the friends of mine, people that I know, were talking about my weight loss. And this has been a real struggle. So before I get into the topic of discussion, I just want to share something, because this might be something somebody else might be going through as well. Um, I was, what was I, about 270? Yeah, close to 300 pounds, and I had a hard time losing the weight. But I'm going to share something with you guys. For anybody going through this, your weight is fluctuating up and down, etc. I started eating differently. I still have some chicken and all that stuff, but not like I used to. What I do now is I eat fruits and vegetables, like oranges, bananas. Just had a banana. I'll have an orange. I'll have some yogurt and things like that. I'll snack on things like that because that curbs that appetite that I have. And also, I do a lot of detoxing teas, and that helps a lot too, as well as going to the gym. So I'm starting to lose the weight. Probably have to go shopping soon to get some new clothes, because the things I have now are not fitting the way I want them to. But it is working, and I just keep doing it and keep going. And when I get that urge for something, I just have some yogurt or banana or orange or watermelon, things that's just going to curb that appetite. So hopefully that's helpful to anyone who's listening who might be going through something like that. Um, so anyway, guys, I hope you're doing well. Let's get into this topic of discussion. Remember, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a social worker or a counselor. I'm just someone who shares my experiences of trials, tribulations, and all the hell that I've gone through, and how I got through it with God, prayer, and the key factor, persevere through it all. And it's not fun, it's not easy, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of self reflection and looking at things from a different perspective. And that's how I've been able to keep going, keep moving. So, with that being said, guys, the topic of discussion today is: when someone shows you who they are, believe them. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And this is different, a little different than what I normally do, but it all ties into the healing process. What I've learned so far on this journey, because like I always say to you guys, that one of the ways I started to look at things from a different perspective is people, circumstances, and situations come into our life for a reason, a season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And for me, a lot of unlearned lessons, repeating them. And as that wheel spin around again and that lesson come back, is worse and worse each time that we don't learn it. So I chose to get off that wheel, learn a lesson, so that I can close that door and move on to new beginnings. And it wasn't easy, because I had to look at myself, look at why I was repeating lessons, and then look at things from a different perspective on how to close the door to it. So people will eventually show you who they are and how they feel about you through their actions, words, or deeds. People show you how they feel about you. And when they do that, believe them. I used to try to, you know, play it off as, oh, they're not feeling well today, and, etc., so forth. If the elephant is in a room and that elephant is getting bigger and bigger, I choose not to keep walking around the elephant and pretending it's not there, because it's not going to disappear. It's not going to go away. It's just going to grow bigger and bigger until the situation becomes too uncomfortable for you and the elephant to be in the same room. So for me, I had to look at things from a different perspective. And one of the reasons why I was doing what I was doing, because the way I grew up. What happens in his house stays in his house. It doesn't matter how traumatic it is. It doesn't matter, how devastating it is. It's in his house. It stays right here. It doesn't go anyplace. But people, if that happened, and if you know what I'm talking about and you grew up this way, that doesn't resolve anything. Because trauma and all these things that happen to us, if we don't heal those things within, we carry baggage and luggage to any new connections, whether it's a business setting, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a romantic. We are carrying tons of bricks on our backs, burdens. And we can't get rid of those burdens until we have an outlet. We find an outlet for the pain. And if we are not even addressing the elephant in the room, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and grow bigger. And what I mean through that metaphor of using the elephant in the room is that the problem is not going to go away. It's just going to stay stagnated and stuck within us. We have to look at it like we look at ourselves in a mirror. Address it head on. Face the pain. And I know it's not easy. And believe me, I had to do this in the physical by myself with God helping me, lifting me up while I'm in a corner somewhere on all fours, crying and going through the worst type of pain I've ever been through. But if I didn't go through it, if I didn't address it and look at it and make some changes, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And like I said, none of this is easy, but nothing ventured is nothing gained. Whether this is a positive or negative experience and someone show you who they are, believe them. Because don't call a duck a dog and vice versa. See it for what it is. And when you see things for what it is, then find a way to address it. And I wasn't doing that. I was just making excuses for people so that I can keep them in my life, whether it was a significant other, a family situation, or whatever it was, because I had issues of abandonment. And I had to address that. No, it's not easy to talk about, but when you face these things, people, and I'm talking from experience, it changes your life. Because as you address these things, and I address a lot of these things in therapy, doing a pro and con list, talking about these things, all these things are an outlet for the pain. But when we ignore it and pretend it's not there, it's just going to grow deeper and deeper within us, like those tons of bricks. And once I did this and continuously to deal with the pain, find a way to love, self-love, healing, doing things to heal, and then know that I'm worth it. I don't deserve abuse. I don't deserve to be a doormat to somebody else's problems. I don't deserve to carry anybody else tons of bricks. I didn't even want to carry my own. And what I do today is give most of those things to God so I can stay focused on my healing and growth, guys. Know that you are worth it. And one of the ways you do this is self-care, self-love. When people talk about, loving yourself, we are supposed to love ourselves. As you love yourself, you self-care. As you self-care, you do better. You have to take care of your physical and mental health. Look in that mirror every morning when you get up and say, I am worth it. Don't let anyone tell you you're not. You don't have to deal with abusive situations. You have a choice in a matter. And when someone does something, just because you're having a disagreement with someone, and if they're being verbally and physically abusive, believe that. Someone want to say later on, oh, you made me do this because you said A, B, C, D, and E, and that's why I did F, G, H, and I, or whatever. Don't allow yourself to fall for that. Know your self-worth and know what is for your highest good and know what's not for your highest good, because when you love yourself, you're not going to just accept any old thing, any old situation, just because you don't want to be alone. Believe me, I've been alone for a while. I date, but a little bit. But if it's feeling not right for me, then I would say, okay, this is not something I want to continue. And I'm honest about it, and it feels good to love myself and to keep self-caring and know what's for my highest good. And people, when you get to that point on this healing journey, you do not accept any old thing, because you know your worth and you know what's for your highest good, and you're not just going to accept a crumb, a breadcrumb, a bone thrown at you, because you know that you don't deserve those things. People's actions will always show you how they feel, their true self. I have some notes here. An example I'm going to use now is of an ex. One day I had came in from work, and an ex of mine was on the phone talking to a friend. And I overheard the conversation just before I walked into the room. And the conversation went a little bit like this. Man, I got this girl wrapped around my finger. I got her exactly where I want her. She would do anything that I tell her to do. She's not going anywhere, so I'm doing whatever, and she'll always still be there. That conversation, at that time, the person that I was, not the person I am today, I was crushed hearing that. Because, when you love somebody, you do your best. When you enter a relationship, it's supposed to enhance your life, not bring hell and toxicity to it, not to be subservient to somebody else's needs. It's you come together, and you're supposed to build up, not destroy and tear down. And when people feel like they got you wrapped around their finger like a string or a puppet on a string, I'm gonna pull you this way, and you'd say to me, how high should I jump? How high should I jump? And people will, this means that you have to work on yourself, your self-esteem. And my self-esteem was in a gutter at that time, because just to keep this person in my life who was toxic as hell, and I just kept making excuses for it. And when this person eventually left me, because it went back and forth, in and out, round and about for a little bit, and then the last time was the last time, and the last time is when I saw the phone and I saw the proof of the cheating, and I know I wasn't going to stay and deal with that. So the last time was the last time. And then when a person tried to come back again into my life again 6 months later, no thank you, I saw your phone, I saw what was in it, and I'm done, it's a wrap. And I went to heal, after all the things I went through on top of that. And it took a lot for me to heal. It took a long time, 5 years to be exact, because I started doing the work in 2020. And let me tell you, what I had to look at, it was hard. But once I cried out the pain, I went through what I had to go through, the darkest night of the soul. And but I had the therapist there, and I worked with him even though I didn't want to. I didn't want to address these things sometimes because it's not easy, it's hard. But I know that I did not want to be in toxic connections. I did not want to be around toxic people and situations. That I knew that for sure. And as I did the work and went through at A, B, C, and D, I started to feel better. And guys, as I started to feel better, I did better. And what I do is what I'm telling you guys to do. Get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say, I deserve the best. Because I deserve love. I deserve goodness in my life. Tell yourself these things. and believe it. What you say out loud to yourself, your mind will feed that to your mind, because your mind will eventually believe this, and you do deserve the best. You don't deserve to be thrown a bone, a crumb, or for somebody to treat you any kind of way disrespectful. If it's not for your highest good, then it doesn't belong in your life. And I had to work hard to do that. And one of the places I started was with boundaries. Set boundaries with people. That conversation that I heard, and I'm like, wow, the least I am today, it would be over with. I would just, and I deal with things differently. Instead of acting out of character and being dramatic about things, I sit and I, really honest about things. And then because I'm so calm, because I'm at peace, I don't have time for drama and negativity. I don't invite that in my life. So when I'm calm about things with people, they don't believe it until they actually see the action behind it, because I don't lie. I don't play games. I don't like games. Truth, is important to me. And when people can't be truthful, then I can't be around that. It's toxic, So if anyone is in your life and it's not enhancing it, set boundaries, set strong boundaries, so that you can go and heal and take care of yourself, because your mental and physical health is everything. And when someone is being abusive, whether it's verbally or physically, God forbid, you don't deserve that. None of those things are for your highest good. Like I said, a relationship is supposed to enhance your life for the better, not bring hell to it. And once I learned how to set these boundaries, and when people were dropping off like flies, I let them go. And it was hard to do at first, because I cried, because I didn't have a huge, lots of people in my life in the first place. So the ones I had, the ones who were truly there passed away. But others who were there, they were there not for good reasons. But, I didn't want to be without. But it was better to be without people who don't have my highest, who don't have my best interests at heart, is what I'm saying. It's better to let them go. And when the boundaries were overcrossed and disrespected, cut off, block, and delete is what I did. And it felt uncomfortable at first. Sometimes I wanted to unblock, but my therapist told me, stand your ground. And I did that, and it took a lot of strength. But I draw my strength from God, because the things I've gone through that I haven't even spoken about here on this channel yet, no one person can go through that and still be here and still survive. So I drew my strength from the hand of God. And everything I go through today, I draw my strength from God, and I just keep going. The key factor is to persevere. And sometimes I don't know how things are going to end up. But I keep going. It's just like the metaphor I always use is, you have a big box of pieces of puzzles. Let's say you have 1,000 pieces in that box. You turn it over, there's puzzle pieces everywhere. You don't know what that picture is until you start putting it together day by day, piece by piece, and then you start to see what the picture is. And that's how it is on this journey called life, healing, and growth and evolving. You don't know, it doesn't come with an instruction book to tell you to do it this way and do it that way. You have to feel your way through it. And what I had to do as I continue to do the work is to look at things from a different perspective, from a different mindset. Not the mindset I was taught when I grew up, but look at things from a different mindset. You have to heal those things, because if you don't heal it, you're going to carry it with you for the rest of your life. And you have to get rid of it so that you can be free of those tons of bricks on your back and you can walk upright. Know that you are worth it. Never allow anyone to lower your self-esteem to the gutter. Because if someone is in your life to do that, they're not there to build you up. They're there to tear you down, which is part of the problem and not the solution. Very toxic. So I had to disconnect, cut off, block, and delete. And as I continue to do the work, I start to heal. As I heal, I felt better. And one of the reasons too that I talked about in the beginning of this video about the weight, and that's another reason why I think I had these issues with my weight, because I was eating a lot, because eating was a sort of comfort to me with then all the problems and situations that I was going through. So as I learned to get rid of those situations, resolve it, because resolution could mean cut off, block, and delete. In my case, it did. And then I started to focus, take the attention off of those situations and put them on me, and take care of my physical and mental health. Then I start to feel better. You feel better, you do better. And then I made vows to God that I keep to share and help others, to pay it forward. Because as I do that, it continues to help me, and other people are being helped. And thank you guys for the comments and the messages that you are getting help, that these messages are resonating with you, because that's the key factor here, is to uplift. We got so much of the other stuff in this world today, the toxicity, the everything negative. And now we want to be at a place where we can uplift, build up, heal. I heal through music as well. This is why I have some playing in the background. There's different ways to heal by self-care, taking care of yourself, do things that uplift your spirit, taking care of your body. Remember I said in other videos, your body is the temple. Take care of it. Be careful of what you put into it. I go to the gym, I take care of myself, and just take one day at a time, because like I said, this is doesn't happen overnight, day by day, but nothing ventured is nothing gained. So keep moving forward. You're going to have those days where you don't feel like doing anything. The next day, get right back up and keep going. Never stop investing in yourself, and never allow anything in your space that is not for your highest good, and that's going to distract you from healing and self-care. That's the message today, guys. Share this message with others. Continue to show self-love, care, and also bring people into your life who care about you, who support this journey that you're on, and who's going to encourage you to continue to do so. This is Lisa, shedding love and light. Thank you all for being here today, and you have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Bye for now, guys.